They act and then they think. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my bedroom, and welcome back to another episode of me. Welcome to the Emmy extravaganza, the Emmy experience. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And if you've been here before, you know what to do. If you feeling the vibes, you're gonna hit that what? You're gonna hit that subscribe. Thank you. No, but seriously, it really does help me out a lot. I am new on the internet and it's been growing pretty fast and I would love to keep that momentum. I also do have an Etsy link in my description if you want to check out some candles that I just started selling. I'm really bad at promoting myself, but you will be seeing me do that a lot more because it's all about evolving and we're trying new things. It's all about getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. I still sometimes feel uncomfortable filming, but here I am. Now I'm slowly starting to get comfortable with it, so now I have to try and see if anybody wants to look at my candles. But that's not today's topic. Today's topic is the rising signs. So let's just describe what rising signs mean first. Okay, so your rising sign is determined by your first house, basically the time that you were born. So I can pull up a chart, basically a chart, but the time of your birth describes your rising sign. So if you don't know what time you were born, you probably don't know your rising sign, which means you probably don't really know your houses. Some people, if they weren't born in the US or whatever reason, they just don't actually have that information accessible to them. But yeah, what rising represents is each house, each sign has a statement, like a I am, I think, I believe, I feel, right? So the first house is ruled by Aries. All the houses, they go in order of the zodiac sign. So first house is Aries, second house is Taurus, 12th house is Pisces, right? So the statement that is associated with Aries is I am. So this house, the first house, has a lot of themes that have to do with Aries being the self, right? So that would make the first house being the energy that you present to the world. It's the first impression that you make. It's how and who you feel you are. It could be, do you feel more introverted? Do you feel more extroverted? Your rising sign has a play in that. When you first meet people, okay, this is more based off first impressions, mainly how you present yourself, your physical appearance. It also is the vibe that you give off. Okay, so Astro Finesse is an amazing astrologer that's on YouTube. Shout out to you. He described in one of his videos, your rising sign would be like, think of a house. So your rising sign would be the outside of the house. How does the grass look? What does the front door look like? Is there a driveway? Like how the house looks at first. Your sun sign would be like the living room. Everybody knows, when they first go into a house, you normally are in the living room, right? It's the most accessible to people, your general energy, because clearly just because the outside of a house looks a certain way doesn't mean the inside is gonna look that way, right? And then your moon sign would be your bedroom, okay? So like your bedroom is, the closer representation of who you really are, right? That private emotional side of yourself. So they're all you, they're all your home, but they all just mean different things. So I hope that made sense. The rising sign also determines your chart ruler. Aries is ruled by the first house. So if somebody had an Aries rising, for example, your chart ruler would be Mars. So the Mars energy would have a dominant characteristics in how you present yourself, in your personality. So Mars energy is very intense, it's very determined, it's very motivated, it gets things done, it's very sure of itself. So somebody with an Aries rising would come off more in these ways. So if you're learning astrology, don't get caught up on just learning the signs. Also know the planets, because if you know the planets and you know the mythology of the planets, then you know the signs, right? So Mars was the god of war. Of course, there's gonna be an aggression aspect, a determined aspect to it, right? So Mars rules Scorpio and Aries. So of course there's those aspects in Scorpio and Aries, if that makes sense. So like, for example, my rising sign is Virgo. My chart ruler is Mercury, because that's the planet that rules Virgo, and Mercury is all about communication. Virgo is the more introverted side of Mercury, while Gemini is the more extroverted side of Mercury. But I do have Gemini placements, so I'm a lot of things. That's Gemini for you. Let's just get into the next sign. So now that you have a better understanding of what the rising sign means in astrology and how you can apply it and how you can look it up in your chart, let's move on to the next sign. So an Aries rising, they would come off very extroverted, right? Aries people, they love people. They love to talk. They love social environments. They're very extroverted. If you hyped up, they're hyped up, basically. They come off when people first meet you, because the first house rising sign is all about first impressions, right? So you could feel like you're not extroverted because you could have like a Pisces sun or like a Taurus or like a Virgo moon or something like that, something that's more introverted. But when people first meet you, you come off this way, even if you like identify with it 100% or not. Aries, they come off very bold, they're very confident, they're very sure of themselves. They have this alpha type energy to them because energy is ruled by Mars. They're not afraid to take up space, they're very sure of themselves. Leadership, like they're really good at being a leader, or you might find yourself in a lot of like leadership roles. They're really good at keeping things fun and fresh and lively. They like variety of different things and to try new things. They see the world as like this is my mission, and then the mission changes. So it's like they always have like some sort of goal. They always have a goal for themselves. Normally short term, but you know, they have a plan. So they have a lot of energy. They probably can't sit still. They're the baby of the zodiac, being the first sign, so everything's very exciting to them, and they're just really enjoyable to be around. Because they are the baby of the zodiac, they can kind of come off a little bit selfish because they're very like, I want to do this, I want to do this, and they have a hard time realizing that because they're so focused and driven on whatever goal that they set for themselves that they don't realize that, you know, other people want to do different things sometimes. Yeah, sometimes people don't want to do what you want to do. Shocking, isn't it? I'm sure you know that by now because it's probably led to some altercations. Aries risings are definitely not afraid of confrontation either, depending on the rest of your chart. Like I said, if you have a more introverted sun or moon, Mercury, in this case Mars, if you have like a Cancer Mars, you're definitely not going to be confrontational. When it comes to physical attributes, because appearance, right? Not only does Aries rule like how you present yourself, not only does rising rule how you present yourself, but there's also an aspect of features. So I've noticed that Aries risings, they tend to have like flat eyebrows, like, you know, those like, maybe insert a picture, like those straight eyebrows, or like a prominent forehead, because it's the ram, you know, so they kind of have like a square forehead. They might be very like physically fit people because they're very active people. They're probably like into working out or whatever kind of activity that they enjoy. They may even be like adrenaline junkies, you know, like skydiving one day, scuba diving the next, doing something else. Like they really enjoy being active. When people first meet you, they might also find you intimidating or friendly. It really just depends on your mood because your energy is very strong. So if you're not feeling it, if you're in a bad mood, like you have a way of putting other people in a bad mood. So you can be intimidating, like whether you realize it or not. Again, this does depend on the rest of your chart, especially like your sun, your moon, and your Mars. They can have a quick temper because they do kind of like, they're the baby of the zodiac. So they feel things very fast, but then they also get over things very fast, which is like the beauty of Aries. They don't stay mad, they don't hold grudges. Like they can do things without thinking sometimes just because they're so like impulsive and spontaneous. So that's also like, they're just very, they just like to do things. They act and then they think. They act and then they think. They want to be the best at everything that they do, so they're very competitive people. Like I said about the goal, like they set a goal and they make sure it happens. Sometimes they get distracted because they set another goal. But that Mars energy, they're very like passionate about whatever goal they set for themselves. They just, being that it's cardinal, right? Cardinal is the leader sign, so they start things, right? That's all the cardinal signs. Fire signs, they're very passionate, right? Okay, Aries is both those things, so sometimes there's no follow through because those double things don't stable out, right? So then you're not going to, like, the longevity of getting things done isn't going to be there, is what I'm trying to get at. They enjoy starting things, finishing things, not really. But they're very passionate, so some things for Aries to learn is that, yes, you are very headstrong and you see life the way that you want to see it. But you know what? Not everybody sees life the way that you do. And compromise, learning how to be a little bit more compromisable. I don't know if that's a word, but to learning how to compromise will really benefit you, and just accepting people for who they are, because there really is something to learn from everybody, whether you realize it or not. People have their own way of doing things as well. So just learn from people. You know, maybe you'll learn something that is actually beneficial for you, or something that you can apply in your own life, you know, like just don't be afraid of compromise. I think learning how to compromise with other people is also really important. Hearing people out, it's not always has to be an argument when someone's trying to like speak and communicate with you. Sometimes people just want you to hear their side. So it's not always about what you want, and it's not always about what you want to do. So sometimes you do have to swallow your pride and hear people out. This may or may not resonate with you. It does depend on the rest of your chart. It does depend on your moon and your sun and your Mars. But yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video if it was useful, and subscribe to my channel if you're not, so you know when I come out with more content. And yeah, comment down below any characteristics I may have forgotten, and something I should have added. Yeah, don't be afraid to let me know. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.